So I just reread Gloomspite by Andy Clark, and it's still disgustingly good. The book is told from the perspective of the Swords of Sigmar, a diverse group of mercenaries who travel the country for money and for Sigmar. After the tragic death of their leader, they traveled to the city of Draconium to warn them, as their leader in his maddened state predicted the doom of Draconium. Draconium is a city in Akshi, which has over the past weeks experienced a huge increase in crimes, disappearances, and other mysterious events. The Swords of Sigmar eventually end up working for the City Watch to investigate the weird disturbances plaguing the city. The disturbances end up becoming weirder and weirder until eventually shit hits the fan and Bad Moon arrives. I won't spoil what happens afterwards, but it's quite a lot, and the second part of the book also reads very differently from the first part of the book. The first thing I liked about the book is the Swords of Sigmar themselves. They are a diverse bunch and every character has enough personality attached to them to make you care about them. They also all have their own mannerisms, values, and way of talking. This defines them as a distinct character rather than just part of the group. Then, because the characters are so well defined, the author can also write meaningful interactions between them, or switch to a different character to give a different perspective on the situation. The author also splits the group from time to time, so we get multiple points of view from a certain event, or we get to see how different parts of the city are affected by the current events. The book is also really grim-dark. The city's populace is on the back foot against an overwhelming and unknown enemy, with no help on their way. So yes, this means no Stormcast Eternals coming to save the day this time. This applies to the Swords of Sigmar too, as Clark really channeled his inner George R.R. Martin for this book and didn't bother to give any of the characters any meaningful plot armor, so don't expect all the characters to make it out alive. This makes the book so much more interesting, as you really don't know who will live till the end. Hell, you don't even know if the good guys will make it out alive, let alone if they will be able to beat the bad guys. This combined with the constant tension made the book a real good horror book, with the right combination of terror, disgust and tragedy. Now you might expect a Gloomspite point of view at some point, as the book is called Gloomspite, but this is surprisingly absent. This however only makes them scarier because you truly have no idea what's going on in their heads. Just as with many horror movies, the fact that you truly never know why things are happening makes it all the more terrifying. I would also like to give a shout out to the horrifying combination that is mushroom magic and Andy Clark's brain. Holy moly, this book can be disgusting at times. I've heard people say that they can never look at fungi in the same way, and I can definitely understand why. Now, as a big fan of horror books and movies, I was able to appreciate this, but this book is definitely not recommended for the faint of heart or, well, for people who like to read while eating for that matter. Here are some images from a game called The Last of Us to give you an idea of the concept, but trust me, the book is much, much worse. Finally, you could also describe this book as a clash between the normal people and the terrifying world of Age of Sigmar. For an example, many things in the city were built around the fact that the rain in this part of Akshi is highly acidic, and people who spend a lot of time outside were also bald because the rain had scalded their skin on their heads. To combat this, many people employed special rain cloaks and shields. Simple things like this symbolize the struggle the mortals already have just to deal with the realm itself. Then finally, of course, you see how easily things can go wrong when there are no stormcasts or other godly beings to protect the people when things go wrong. All in all, I give this book 5 out of 5 Black Library stars, and this book remains my favorite book for Age of Sigmar. So if you like Age of Sigmar, horror, or both, make sure to check this book out. Don't read it before dinner though, as you might lose your appetite. I've also linked my Gloomspite playlist in the description below in case you want some music to listen to while reading. Anyhow, that's all I got for you today. Bye!
If you like this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.